Now to a story which may surprise those who spend hours every day getting to and from work. A new study has found despite the country's growing population, the average daily commute isn't getting any longer.
Peak hour on Sydney's busiest roads. This is the scene most days of the week. Delays for drivers and those who catch public transport.
It's difficult enough to get to university with the trains, and now it's near impossible. On top of that, the buses are just so full of people. I had to ride in the bloody in the luggage rack things on the way over here.
But a new report by the Australian public policy think tank, the Grattan Institute, has found the average commute in our capital cities isn't that much longer than it was 5 years ago, despite population growth. Those living in the most populous cities don't necessarily face the longest travel times, with median travel times similar in Melbourne and Brisbane, although the Victorian capital has twice the population. In Canberra, commuters travel for further and for longer than in Adelaide, even though the national capital has a third of Adelaide's population.
The media reports are often saying things like the cities are grinding to a halt, we've got terrible gridlock, we're going to have to stop population growing or stop migration. But in reality, it's true that we're more crowded and congested than we used to be. But what seems to be happening is that people are making all sorts of adaptations so that their commutes are still tolerable.
But the government challenges that. Cities and Population Minister Alan Tudge saying travel times are getting slower. To suggest otherwise is fanciful. He says this is why the federal government is examining how to take population pressure off our fast-growing cities. One option that's been floated is a proposal to settle new migrants in regional areas for up to 5 years to help tackle congestion in Sydney and Melbourne. The government hasn't confirmed it's considering this, but it hasn't ruled it out. Managing congestion is a constant battle for state governments, especially those running Australia's most populous city.
In 2013, there was 300 million passenger trips on Sydney trains every year. Today, last month, that surpassed 400 million passenger journeys. If you think of the life of the railway, 150 years, in 5 years to have a 30% increase in patronage, that has been one of the most significant logistical challenges that any government could meet head on.
It's investing $8.3 million in metro train upgrades. It means a short-term inconvenience for passengers. The government says the end result will be worth it.
I appreciate the improvements that I think our government is trying to make things better in the long run.
Charlotte Lamb, SBS World News.
Still ahead on SBS World News.